Hello everyone, welcome to ixamBee. In this video, I am going to tell you to crack RBI Grade B Phase 1 exam. What shall be the strategy based on the cutoff of last 3-4 years. The presentation I have arranged in 3 parts. First, I am going to tell you the previous year cutoff and chapter-wise questions under each section. General awareness, reasoning, English and quant. Second, I am going to tell you what shall be your strategy. Please mark it right. Your strategy, it is not my strategy for phase 1. And third point, I would tell you that what are don'ts and what are the do's. Starting with the broad structure of the exam, you know this, that general awareness is 40% of the exam. Then second important is 30% reasoning, and these two English and quant both consisting of 15%. But you shall always have this map in your mind. That's why I am showing you this big picture. The bigger part of the pie comes from the general awareness section followed by reasoning. And the beauty of general awareness is that it also saves your time. As I said in the other video, your ROTI, return on time invested, is highest in case of the general awareness. If you want to know more about how to score in general awareness, go to the video, the link to which is coming on the I button above. Now coming to previous year cutoff. So this trend you shall know so that you can plan your strategy. This year the question may be little bit different. See, the overall cutoff last year was 78, which was 98 in 2016 and 88 in 2015. So there is no set trend. It increased and then it declined because the difficulty level of the exam was tough in 2017. See, especially in case of quant, the cutoff was only 4 marks out of the 30 marks. For reasoning also it was 11 in every section. The cutoff decreased also in general awareness. The lesson we need to learn here is we have to ensure sectional cutoff, GA, reasoning, English and quant, and we have to also ensure the final cutoff. So if you sum up the sectional score here in 2017, it will come to like 38.25, which is still 39.75 marks away from the cutoff. So you have to get 40 more marks somewhere, and the same trend is in 2016. If you club all this will be close to 50, and from the cutoff it is another 48.5, almost 50 marks away. So point is 40 marks or 50 marks away even if you clear all sectional cutoff. So your aim are number 1, sectional cutoff, number 2, getting that extra mark so that you reach to the final cutoff, and that extra mark you are not supposed to get in quantitative aptitude for sure, until and unless you are an exceptional candidate who has been like cracking CAT or maybe a mathematics genius. Otherwise in RBI exam, leave this for scoring these extra marks. The best paper to get these extra 40 marks, 50 marks is first general awareness, number 2 reasoning, and number 3 English. Number 1 is because ROTI, return on time invested, is best year. Number 2 is reasoning because reasoning is 60 marks in the exam after general awareness number 2, and the accuracy of reasoning is far superior than the accuracy you can get in English. And English is only 30 questions. Return on time invested on English will be good, but the number of questions are more in reasoning. So based on your expertise and the chapter wise details I am coming to in the next slides, where you can score more, and also what happens in the real exam, because difficulty level of the question right now no one can judge. A broad suggestion for the time and the number of attempts you should invest in every section. General awareness you shall be in a position to complete in 12-15 minutes. 18 is on higher side. I can actually complete general awareness in 12-13 minutes, because if I know the answer, I tick the correct option and move ahead. There is nothing much to calculate or nothing much to analyze in general awareness question. So you save your time so that you can score high in reasoning. Here you can give more time, and here you can attempt. I have written 35 to 45 questions, but if you are doing reasonably good, there is no harm even if you go to 55 questions. Quantitative aptitude, the aim is to qualify. Quant, the aim is to qualify. You may take 20-30 minutes on higher side, because the more time you save in quant, the more you score in reasoning and English. English you can do 15-20 questions. If you are very good in English, then go for higher question, and that you can do in 20-35 minutes. So overall, try to attempt between 115 and 135 depending on your speed and accuracy are important here, because if your accuracy level is good, so you will be good even doing 115 questions, say with 85-90% accuracy. And if your accuracy is like 75-80%, you have to do more, like 130-135 questions to clear the cutoff. Now, what is the strategy? And as I said in the beginning, this is your strategy. One line answer is there is no definite strategy. That's why I am calling you, it's your strategy. If I have to define the strategy, this is your strategy. You have to carve out. I am telling you what the exam is. I am telling you how I would like to do it and how other people are doing it. But you are unique. So you have to carve out your strategy based on your strength. And how do you find out your strength? You find out your strength and your weakness by attempting mock test, by analyzing your result. Strategy guidance is GA preparation is all before the exam. The best beauty about GA is I am repeating again, higher ROTI. Prepare all what you can do before the exam so that in that 12-15 minutes you can score as much as possible. And how to get score in general awareness? Watch the video. I have suggested, the link of which is available on the I button. Important strategy, quant is to qualify. Don't try to score in quant. See, your critical resource, most critical resource in the exam, phase 1 exam is time. We will come to phase 2, that is more about the knowledge. So here your most critical resource is time. How you invest your time? You have ample room to play in reasoning and English. So because normally quant is tough in RBI exam, plan to qualify quant, rest you can see in the exam hall. Third point, score in reasoning, score in English. You have to do that in the exam hall. So unlike general awareness where the preparation is to be done before the exam, here the actual performance is during the exam hall. You may be a great player, you come with a great history, but if that day you cannot play for any reason, maybe higher number of mistakes or maybe some nervousness of the exam hall, you lose the game, which is not going to happen in general awareness, because general awareness, if you know, you know. If you know the currency of Malaysia is ringgit, so you are not going to attempt on USD there in the exam hall. That kind of foolish mistake nobody does. But in solving the reasoning questions, in solving the English question where you have to solve, exam hall performance matters a lot, and this you will do by practice. So coming to the breakup of the general awareness, if you see the last 3-year trend, 2015, 16 and 17, the number of questions from the current affairs are increasing. You can see this trend, 15, 24 and 40 questions. The number of questions from the economics and static knowledge are decreasing from 45 to say 10 questions last year. And the number of questions from the banking awareness is almost constant, around 30 questions. So you have to focus more on the current affairs, read last 4 months in great detail, and you have to also focus on the banking questions. I am running a series for these type of question. You can see the sample question there, and for more how to score in general awareness, go to the separate video. Let me tell you how ixamBee's crash course for RBI Grade B 2018 can help you in cracking the phase 1. The strategy from our side is scoring 50 plus marks in the general awareness. We are providing you PDF, GA supplement, summary of the important publications like RBI annual report, financial stability report, notification, trend and progress in banking, important concept on banking and economics, and in addition to that 15 tests only for general awareness which are specifically meant for RBI Grade B, in addition to 15 mock tests in which also there will be 80 questions of GA, and these are matching with the exam standard. Then the rest of the exam, so general awareness is 40%, rest of the exam is 60%. So we are focusing on practicing with the exam level questions. In the entire package for phase 1 and phase 2, we have close to 15,000 practice questions which are uniquely made by the ixamBee team. ixamBee team consists of those who have cracked several banking, CAT, GMAT kind of exam, and our focus is improving the performance by practice questions. And third is learning with the expert. We are running daily live classes in which you have the opportunity to asked directly to the faculty members, and also you learn from the doubts asked by the other student in the class. Our focus on practice is this much, that we have concept check questions, we have chapter test and assignments, and we have then section test and mock test where the difficulty level is matching to the exam level. Coming to the chapter wise detail of the reasoning questions asked in RBI Grade B in last 3 years, most of the questions in the reasoning section are from puzzle and sitting arrangement. But I will also give you a caution here, because puzzle and sitting arrangement questions are comparatively tough and are group questions. If you solve the puzzle, all are correct, otherwise you lose all. So I would advise you to do it one at the end, second only when you are expert in that. You can develop that expertise because already you know these questions are more, so I would recommend you to learn solving that. And logical reasoning questions are also there. These are argument, assumptions, weak argument, strong argument. I think these are comparatively easier to learn, but what I have seen mostly on the practice test, people are not making effort to make these type of questions. That's why the learning in these types of questions are not coming. It takes very less time to solve these questions. Yes, accuracy level is not that great in that. With the best learning also, you may be like 70-80% time accurate, but that is fine because you are saving a lot of time in doing these questions. These are actually my favorite in reasoning section. And then rest you can pick up from what you like. It may be input output, it may be coded inequalities, it may be data sufficiency. Like for me, data sufficiency, I always love data sufficiency because you need not to actually solve anything. You shall simply know the logic whether this data will be sufficient or not. Syllogism you may pick up. I like syllogism. I solve it by this method, AEIO, but you may do it by Venn diagram also. Likewise, direction or anything, you shall know this cutoff and practice so that you pick up your questions to take 35-45 questions in the reasoning section. Likewise, coming to the quantitative aptitude, here you have to look for low hanging fruit, because in quantitative aptitude the objective is to qualify. Quant is to qualify, please remember. Here you may take data interpretation 15 questions, but again a caution here, difficult level questions. Here in RBI these questions are tough, so you may pick up miscellaneous. Actually I also like miscellaneous question. And inequalities in RBI it was of a difficult level, but somehow inequalities also is one of my favorite area, because here also you don't need to solve much, you have to just observe the trend, like A is greater than B, so I always write it A is greater than B and B is equal to C. So if you draw a diagram like this, so you can solve inequality question quickly. And then rest of the question may be sometime case-led DI, data sufficiency or series also, which were wrong in these 2 years. So last year series was not there. Remember, the goal is to qualify in quant, pick up some 10-15 questions so that you get the sectional cutoff. And coming to English, you have again a low hanging fruit here I would call reading comprehension. Especially if you are reading newspapers, if you know about banking, finance and economic space, most of the paragraphs are based on that. Other sections like double fillers, idioms, phrases, sentence correction, error detection, close test, parajumbled. So if you want to know, you want to understand the trend every year by year, you can pause the video, you can read this table in more detail. But my idea is to just tell you that these are the important section, and here your aim is to find out these 15-20 questions so that you make good for sectional cutoff and also for the final cutoff, as I said in the beginning of the video. Now I am going to tell you about what not to do for the exam, and what not to do for the exam is also very important, guys, because I have observed, especially on YouTube, there is lot of misguidance, and this misguidance is by so-called expert. Do not listen to these so-called experts, because these people themselves have not cleared the exam, because somebody is teaching a subject for 5 years, 10 years and now have learned that, but no student have time to prepare for 10 years for any competitive exam. So their strategy will not work, because they are suggesting read RBI notifications, read RBI circulars, SDI report, ease of doing business, financial stability report, IMF report, World Bank report. I don't know whether these people have themselves read all these any time. Have you ever tried to compile how many pages RBI notifications and circulars, master circulars will go? Thousands of pages, and these are meant for bankers. All important thing related to exam comes in any newspaper, especially any business newspaper. You go to GK Today website and click on the economics and banking section, you will find all relevant material there. There is no point reading these many reports. Don't target to be 100% accurate, or even 90% is also too high. Because in exam you have to take call. You have to use the answer elimination method, in which you will eliminate 2-3 options, and then on last 2 you will take a chance sometime to save your time, because your aim is to optimize your performance. That is what all about management. So not rocket scientist, because rocket scientists cannot afford even 0.001% mistake, otherwise the direction of the rocket or the missile will be entirely different. But here it's all about management, and the exam is also like management, taking the optimum output of your performance. There will be some marks lost because of the negative marking. It will happen, and you will find out this optimized performance by practice. So coming to this portion, what you shall do. So here in general awareness, you shall target a score of say 40 to 60 marks depending on your expertise. If you have been studying general awareness, you have been preparing for UPSC or other state exams, so you may be in a position to score even 70-75 marks. People have been scoring. But even if you are scoring 40 marks, you can crack by scoring higher sometime in reasoning or sometime in English, so that ultimately you get more than 100 marks. That shall be the objective. For reasoning, you can target somewhere between 25-35 marks, but if you are very good at reasoning, you can go even up to 40. For quantitative aptitude, you just take it a section to qualify. The final action point that can help you in the remaining days before the exam is follow this series of 300 questions of RBI Grade B 2018, where I am discussing important questions for banking exam. If you are new to banking awareness, economic awareness, you can also follow, there is another series in which I am telling the important terms, important concept about banking sector, and that series is meant for SBI PO, IBPS PO, RRB PO, RBI assistant kind of exam. So you can follow these two, it will help you. Focus on your strength. You will clear the exam based on your strength. I know some of the friends, those who have cleared the exam only because they were master in general awareness. I am telling about phase 1, and I knew about myself. I cleared the exam by have a balance of GA, reasoning, English and quant. So I was never master of any section. So there are various strategies. That's why I said in the beginning, it's your strategy. Find out that, and how you find out your strategy? Practice, practice, practice. I have written 3 times. No amount of guidance, no amount of coaching, no amount of mentoring. What you can get out of your own practice. What we will be discussing maybe in all theory, and in theory the practice and theory sound same, but in practice they are not. So keep practicing free mock test at ixamBee. Thanks for watching the video. Do not forget to subscribe the channel so that you get the regular update.